My name's Kayla, this is Cinnamon the Score Bunny, this is Nimmy the cat, and today we're going to be looking at all the hidden details in the Gen 9 trailers. I filmed my whole reaction to it, so you guys want to see my initial impression, which was just you could go watch that video. I had a feeling we were going to be finding out information about Gen 9 as soon as I saw this opening shot here, because we see all of the games from the different generations on the back shelf. Typically, whenever we have any sort of Pokemon announcement, usually Pokemon Directs, they have hints in the background as to what games they're going to be talking about. In this case, obviously Gen 9, because they show literally every single other game. So it's kind of like they're leading up into it in a very hidden, super secret kind of way. Although I can totally understand how people might think that this was alluding to Detective Pikachu because of that weird Pikachu in the background. The new Pokemon games are called Pokemon Scarlet and Pokemon Violet, and they released in late 2022, probably around Thanksgiving time, but not 100% sure of when right now. The text of Scarlet and Violet are very different. Typically, these type of letters tend to relate to the legendary Pokemon and what kind of thematic things are going on in the games. I'm very curious as to what these might mean, but I don't think we have enough information to fully speculate on them just yet. The titles of the new games are hinted at the very beginning of the trailer when that sort of security guard guy sees a red and purple, aka Scarlet and Violet, lights coming out of the door. Speaking of the security guard, I noticed when I was reacting to the trailer that they have this interesting symbol on their hat. At first I thought that maybe this was related to just the police force in Japan, but it doesn't look like what police wear there. On the officer's hat, it looks like there's a symbol of an N, which could potentially mean that the region that we're going to starts with an N, maybe? I don't know, I feel like that's kind of reaching though. The next thing I feel like I'm seeing on the hat, we have these two vines, and then on one side it seems like there's grapes on it, and then on the other side it seems like there's more an orange. And this actually shows up again in the trailer. On both sides of the door from the inside, we can see these different plaques. Now one of them looks like it has grapes on it, and the other one people have been speculating looks like a wheel, but if you look at it really closely, I actually think that this is an orange because we have a little bit of leaves at the top, and it doesn't make sense to have grapes and a wheel. It makes a lot more sense to have grapes and an orange. Also, that fits very well with the Scarlet and Violet color schemes because grapes are obviously purple. The orange, you're thinking, oh, well, oranges are orange, so Kayla, you're crazy, that doesn't fit. It's definitely possible, especially because Scarlet is a red-orange, for it to be this grapes and oranges kind of theming. These two groups, the group that's more like grapes and the group that's more like oranges, are kind of rivals. I don't know if they're gonna be full-on evil teams or just two groups that have very different motivations. Maybe they've had a long-standing rivalry because they grow different crops or something related to that. It just fits too well with the color scheming and everything. Framed here, we see this star shape, which I think is super interesting. At first I thought maybe that was a symbol for an evil team, but I actually don't think so now that I've gone back and really thought about it. I think that it's more likely that our 8 badges are going to end up forming the shape of this star, because we see that certain shapes are filled in and certain ones are not, and if you look at how many pieces are kind of missing, you would see that probably adds up to 8. Also, considering we see a lot with mosaics in this trailer, I think it's possible that this is kind of that mosaic theme where we're taking little pieces and shards and putting them together to make a different shape. Most of the shots of the room are not very clear, but we do get this really clear shot of treasure. That's super interesting. I think that there could potentially be something related to that. I know a lot of people have been saying pirates. It definitely has that kind of a vibe, we might have some sort of group related to money. There have been groups that have been trying to make money through different nefarious means, but we've never seen money or treasure. It almost seems like it's more treasure, they're actually seeking out an ancient thing of money. So I don't know. I don't know if that's gonna actually be a thing in the game or if it's gonna just be something really minor, but interesting to think of that. as a concept. We also see these like orbs next to the Switch. At first I thought they kind of looked like Pokeballs, but they seem to be different sizes. So I don't know what these are, but they definitely don't look like something from like the normal human world, in my opinion, unless I like just totally don't know about something and this is going over my head. But it seems like these are Pokemon specific, so I'm curious as to what these might be. Next, I want to talk a little bit about the region. I'm gonna do a full map breakdown because yes, we actually do get to see some shots of the map. And yes, I will be able to place these clips based on the little bits of map information that we've gotten so far. But I'm not gonna go super deep on the map right now because that would be like, it's worth a whole nother video. There's a lot of information. I did want to note though, because this is more just the mechanics of the game as opposed to like actually where things are located, it does seem like there are going to be a lot of shops in this game, especially in the big city that we see in the trailer. Aside from the city, there are quite a few other buildings shown in this trailer as well, including this one here, which looks like the player's house. We see a garden outside it, which makes me wonder if we're going to be able to grow certain berries and different types of crops. In Pokemon Legends Arceus, we were able to grow mints, so maybe it's possible that we'll be able to talk to our mom character, assuming we probably have a mom, because we usually do, and maybe she can grow different mints for us and things like that. We also see what appears to be our neighbor's house. I'm wondering if this is where the professor lives, or our rival, or maybe our rival is related to the professor. We can see what looks like an area to battle Pokemon outside. It seems like this probably is where we're gonna get our starters because, you know, that has happened in quite a few of the main series games where there's been a place to battle right near where we get our starters, so we can kind of test out our starters right away. Ooh, so other idea, and I literally thought about this while editing, so Kayla from the future is here. It's also possible that the player character's house is different depending on which version of the game you're playing, with Pokemon Scarlet players starting with the house with the scarlet roof, and Pokemon Violet players starting with the house with the violet roof. This also fits well with the logos because the Scarlet logo is more traditional and the Violet logo seems more futuristic, and this kind of matches with the design of the houses as well, so I definitely think this is a possibility. Did you notice that the starters aren't the only new Pokemon hinted at in this trailer? In the shot of the starters, if you look slightly to the right, you will see that there's this Pokemon that's kind of hidden away in the shadows. Now, I don't think that this is a Pokemon that we've seen before. I think this is very likely an entirely new Pokemon, but what do you think? It seems like it's very hidden, and if it was a Pokemon we've seen before, I would expect it not to be hidden like that. If you look to the other side of the starters, there's this like circular shape. This is the circular pattern that we see in that main city. It's interesting because like it seems like that might actually be pretty important. It also confirms that there is not going to be a new type of Pokemon added because it does show each of the types in that circle and it matches up to the current types that we have. There's definitely not going to be a sound type or anything like that, which I know is something that people have been speculating about for a while. We also see some little Pokemon trinkets in the player's room. There's the obvious Hoppip up there, but below there's two more other things, and I looked at these very closely to confirm that these are probably not new Pokemon. We can see this like shadowy Pikachu. Some people were just thinking that it's Pikachu, but I think it's actually probably Mimikyu based on the shape of the tail and its like shadowiness, which means that Mimikyu is probably going to be in this game. We also see a really weird cartoon version of Choodle on the purpley colored book. So it seems like Choodle and Dreadnought are also probably in this game. Finally, we have this strange Pokemon that's like on this backpack type thing that's kind of like hung over a chair. I think that this is possibly a new form of Spiritomb. We had in Pokemon Legends Arceus the quest to collect all of those different wisps of Spiritomb. I think with the mosaic theme of this region, it makes sense for them to have a Spiritomb that is more like a mosaic. And the design we're seeing here kind of fits with that. Plus, if it is on a backpack and we are collecting wisp type things throughout the game, it makes sense that this might be the container that we're collecting them in. So those are the major hidden details that I found in the Gen 9 trailer. What hidden details did you find? Again, I'm going to be doing a whole nother video about the map, so don't worry, I am going to be talking about all of that. There is just like too much information for one video. I am so